don't like these movies.
Get real.
And I saw that movie 20 goddamn times!
Just consume fun. I watch my movies. Yeah, my movies are just
And it's so much fun! And
Oh, this movie's too complicated.
So once again, no smoking, just theater.
Taking from an elderly person is as bad as stealing from a child.
Hello and welcome back to season 3 of the Idol Film Club podcast, your Brainrot girlfriend's favourite film podcast. I'm Gio.
And I'm Callum. We're back from our hiatus.
It was my birthday.
Yes, it was. We've watched some films while we've been away.
We've watched quite a bit.
We have. We hope you enjoyed the video podcast.
Yeah.
We'll bring that back at some point in the very distant future.
Once we've mentally recovered from the stress of actually committing to doing video content.
Yeah, it's a bit out of our wheelhouse to regularly do video podcasts. But go and check it out on YouTube if you haven't, because a lot of work went into it.
Yeah, and episode 20, we'll be back.
Oh yeah, we'll be back. We'll do one in every 10. No committal there.
Yeah.
But this week we are going to just have a little catch up on 2024 so far. We're halfway through the year, so we thought these films aren't really worthy of their own episode, but
Yeah, it's nice. We've seen quite a few new releases, so it's nice to just sort of share our thoughts. This isn't going to be a very research heavy episode, but we'll just sort of give our opinions and
yeah,
force them down your throats as we all want to do.
there's a few good ones, few bad ones,
Yeah.
a few bad ones that we thoroughly recommend.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll let you know if we're going to go to spoilers or anything like that. So
These will largely be pretty spoiler free, I think. But
so yeah, we're doing 8 films I think in total today.
I want to say 7.
7, I think 7 actually, yeah. So they're going to be pretty quick fire. So yeah, enjoy and welcome to the show.
I'm a beekeeper. I protect the hive. Sometimes I use fire to smoke out hornets.
So, would you like to start with maybe comes highest on our list,
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
The Beekeeper?
The fucking Beekeeper. A film directed by David Ayer, who's done such hits as Bright, written by enemy of the pod Max Landis.
Oh god.
Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
not the good one, the other one. Fury, which apparently is quite good, I haven't seen, but people like that one.
Fury, what, the Brad Pitt movie?
Yeah. he
Oh,
did
that's
that.
really good.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
And End of Watch with Jake Gyllenhaal, have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Jake Gyllenhaal plays a cop or something. Yeah, he's a very mediocre director.
Director for hire, I think.
I don't know, this might be... He wrote the first Fast and Furious, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or the second Fast and Furious?
No, the first one.
Yes. And this movie stars Rosie Huntington-Whiteley's husband,
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham, who you can't help but kind of love.
Oh, I love Jason Statham.
Do you?
I
What are your thoughts on Jason Statham?
love him.
Yeah.
Love him. I think he plays the same character and everything. And he should. He's good at it. He just needs to do this for the rest of his career until he...
Yeah.
I did think I don't know how old he is, but I was pretty impressed with some of the stunts.
Were you? Did it impress you?
Just the fact that to me he's getting on a little bit, and I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? I mean, he's not like flipping and dipping around, but he's
He's no Keanu Reeves.
yeah.
You are a problem. Goddamn right, I'm a problem.
But you know what? This movie was released this year, as they were, an Amazon and MGM Studios release. Do you want to go into any of the details?
Yeah, sure. So 15 rating, an hour and 45 minutes, which I think is the appropriate runtime for.
Yeah, maybe 15 minutes too long. But
$40 million budget, 39 of that went to Jason Statham. Sits at 6.4 on IMDb.
which is it's just absurd.
It's 70% Rotten Tomatoes and a 54 Metascore.
Do you know how much he's made at the box office?
Over 100? 111?
152 million.
Wow. Yeah, fair.
Well done, David Ayer. And
Well done, Jason Statham. I mean, no thanks to David. I think Jason Statham is the only reason that people went to see it. It's the only reason we watched it. I mean, it goes without saying that this movie is absolutely terrible.
Oh, it's a gigantic piece of shit.
It's so bad.
It is, but for me, I fucking loved
I loved
it.
every second of it.
It's really good.
I'm still not convinced that a human being wrote the script. I think it's AI.
Mrs. Parker and I were friends. She was like family. She was the only person who ever took care of me.
Just as a quick overview, Jason Statham takes revenge on an organisation that wrongs the innocent.
Yes, they're a scam artist
Scammers.
who scammed his elderly
Roommate.
next door neighbor.
She lets him live in
Her
Her-
barn.
yeah,
She has
yeah.
a barn, and he's a beekeeper there, and she gets scammed by
a fishing scam.
Wolf of Wall Street style.
Yeah.
They're like tech bros.
But they're like a criminal organisation, but yet
Oh god,
they're
it's
really hard
weird.
to track down, apparently, even though they
Yeah.
work from an office, which...
I don't get
This movie
it.
is incomprehensibly
Yeah,
stupid.
it's really stupid. It's like, what if you ask like your nan what she thought scamming was?
Yeah.
She'd be like, "Oh, guys in an office with neon lights
Yeah, like, I don't
and
get
big
it.
screens."
Guys who work there are hackers, con men, fraudsters, etc., etc.
So anyway, yeah, not spoiling this because it's in the opening scene, but she gets scammed and the lady shoots herself in the head. Her daughter works for the FBI, and Jason Statham, we learn along the way a few. He's an actual badass. He's not just a beekeeper. If you thought this was going to be like a low-key movie about a beekeeper, it ain't.
Well, if you thought that, you were pretty silly.
There are so many good lines in this movie.
This, as I said, this script is... At one point, we had to pause the movie because I was nearly in tears laughing so hard.
Every other line Jason Statham's character, the beekeeper, says is a bee pun.
And also, the dialogue is so ridiculously hand-holdy.
Yeah.
It's very much the case of telling, not showing.
Yeah.
Yesterday she shot herself.
This is private property.
Do you know what they do here? Scamming the weakest in our society.
Buddy, I'm counting to 3.
1, 2, 3.
So at one point after the scamming takes place,
Yeah.
we see the central lady, I don't remember her name, is on the phone to the fishing people.
Yeah.
We see her bank account is for like, I don't know, some university.
Yes.
And then we see her pension fund.
Yeah.
And then we see it drain to zero.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. And then we get a line of dialogue that's like, she was a charity worker and she got robbed of her pension. It's like,
Yeah, they explain what's happening.
we
multiple
know.
Times, yeah.
We know. We watched the movie.
Like the inciting incident gets explained so many times. It's like, yeah, we knew. We're
We
not
watched the
learning
movie.
anything. So here are a few of my favourite quotes that I've written down. Obviously, he says, "I have to take care of the hive."
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Taking from an elderly person
Oh God, here we
is
go.
as bad as stealing from a child.
Taking from an elderly person is as bad as stealing from a child. Maybe worse. Someone hurts a child. There are parents.
Whatever that means.
You skipped a bit out where it's like,
I did, yeah.
children have people to protect them.
Children have parents.
People who care are ready to step in. When someone hurts an older person, sometimes they're left to face the hornets alone. Because either it goes unnoticed, or no one cares.
It's so dumb.
To be or not to be, isn't that the bloody question?
No. Was that in the movie?
Yeah. I think like an Indian guy says it. I just remember him going like, "Isn't that the bloody question?" Really bad. And then Jason Statham goes, "I choose to be." Sometimes when the hive's out of balance, you have to replace the queen. No spoilers. We're not going to spoil who the queen is because that is one of the best twists in cinema history. But you're just looking at me blank.
I can't even
Do you not
remember.
remember the twist? Josh Hutcherson is in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Plays a crypto bro.
Yeah. And Jeremy Irons plays his CIA dad.
It's so weird that.
Yeah.
He's like the ex-head of the CIA,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
How... I said this to you when we were watching it. How on earth would he be able to just like turn a blind eye to this?
I don't know if he's playing the distant dad or if he's in on it. He's a very confusing character.
Is it actually his dad?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. You've been a busy bee. Was one of the lines.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, it cannot be overstated how many bee puns
Yeah, it's
there
like
are.
every other
Every
line. It's
line.
about hornets, bees, hives, nests, honey.
I find it very endearing.
It's really good.
They went full force on the bee puns.
And also Statham's accent. I don't get it.
He
I've got
does-
this line written down.
He does like a Jason Statham accent, but at the start of every time he speaks, he'll speak American, and then he just gradually fades
He's
out.
got an American twang. I don't get his character because
I don't get
the
anything.
FBI daughter of the lady who got scammed.
Yeah.
At one point, they're having a conversation, and she goes, "There's some British Isles hiding in your accent."
Yeah, what
Which
does
is
that
a sentence
mean?
no one's ever said.
Yeah,
before. You'd
yeah.
just be like, "Are you British?" or "Oh, you sound British."
There's some
There's
British,
some
Isles.
I haven't heard the phrase British Isles since school.
It's so dumb.
Yeah. So there's lots of plot. It's very high stakes.
Oh yeah, these beekeepers, they're not even beholden to the government.
No, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So it is entertaining as hell.
It's very good.
It's really bad. It's a really bad movie.
It is the definition of so bad it's good.
Yes, yeah.
And it's very entertaining.
It's a movie to watch with your friends, maybe. It's a good watch party movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
Josh Hutcherson with his horrible
Oh,
bleach
yeah.
blonde curls.
Mullet. He looks like Jack Harlow or something.
Yeah, it is. It is so much fun. We had a great time watching this.
Yeah, so go check out The Beekeeper if you can.
It is worth watching. Maybe we are, I don't want to say seasoned bad movie
No.
viewers, but we watch a fair amount of.
we watch a fair. Usually
bad
horror.
movie.
It's fun to watch a bad action movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really into action
No.
generally, so maybe if you're into action, you might get a lot more sort of genuine enjoyment out
Or
of the
if you-
spectacle side of things.
If
but-
you have to kill 2 hours with your parents, maybe watch
Oh,
it. It's
yeah.
probably a safer parents film.
And some of the violence is pretty good.
Yes, I mean it's quite gory in that. But
I was
sometimes,
surprised
yeah.
it was at 15. Some of
You
the
can get away with anything now.
Yeah, this is what I said to you when we were watching it. Like, I think for something to be an 18 these days, it has to be very, very explicit.
Yeah. So yeah, go check out The Beekeeper.
But you feel really proud of yourself.
The next movie we went to the cinema to see.
We certainly
I think opening
did.
weekend we saw it,
Yeah, very soon after it came out.
which
I
was
think.
nice. This is Love Lies Bleeding by Rose Glass.
Loved it.
So there's finals for this bodybuilding contest next month in Vegas. Gonna give it a shot. Just laying low here while I train. Cool.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
So A24 release. It was nice to
Mm.
see a sort of exciting A24 release. I know they said a while ago that they were gonna put more focus on recognizable IP and stuff like that, which is just
Yeah.
incredibly disappointing. But no, this movie was great. Was
Yeah.
Rose Glass obviously did
Yeah,
Saint Maud.
Maud, which is another movie I absolutely love.
Yeah, I loved that as well. Really,
And
really good.
it's so interesting. So Saint Maud is so quintessentially English
Yeah.
and has such an English sensibility about it, whereas this feels like it understands America in a very interesting
Yeah,
way.
it's very.
I felt like an outsider, which is
Mm.
a good, I guess, barometer of whether a movie's American or
Well, I
not.
think also it's set in the 80s.
Yes. Well, I've written down it's set in 1989, which is compared to another movie we're going to discuss that came out this year, which is set in the 80s.
Yeah.
It is
Far more subtle.
far more subtle, I think, tonally and thematically. Saying it in the 80s is interesting.
Yeah, and I think it adds to the narrative in a less gimmicky way.
Oh, 100%.
And I mean, we'll talk about it in a second, but they're very different films. It's not really fair to compare them, I don't
Yeah,
think.
but just in terms of the 80s settings,
Yeah.
how these two sort of
This is a-
slices of America in the late 80s.
it's much more dingy and
like the words that come to mind is like sweaty.
yeah,
and
it says
intimate.
neo noir.
Cooling off out here. You wanna ice yourself? You gotta be careful around here, I'm telling you. It could have gone a lot worse. I could take him. Oh. Sorry.
So the premise of this movie: a misanthropic gym manager falls for a competitive bodybuilder with crazy consequences.
Yeah, Katie O'Brien and Kristen Stewart are the two leads.
Fantastic.
So good. Katie O'Brien plays Jackie. The actress is an actual ex-bodybuilder.
She is an ex-body because I
Yes.
said to you when we were watching it, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, she got the role through social media. One of her friends shared a post of a casting director looking for queer bodybuilders,
Mm,
and she took up the role then.
amazing. She
Yeah.
not only physically, her transformation is incredible,
Yes.
but she's so compelling, very
Yeah.
likable.
It's such an interesting little slice of life movie. Ed Harris plays Kristen Stewart's dad.
You got Dave Franco.
Dave Franco plays her brother, right?
Brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
And then
her sister's Jenna Malone.
Jenna Malone, Nick Refn alum Jenna Malone.
Yeah, and Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
A pod regular Jenna Malone.
Yeah, we love it. It was nice to see her in this. She's playing a bit more of a
grown-up role.
Yeah.
She reminded me of like it's very. I don't mean this in a derogatory like classist sense, but just like white trash. Do you know what I mean? The same way as like Tonya Harding sort of.
It's very
trailer party.
endearing.
Yeah.
Not I don't mean to sound patronising,
no,
but
I
it's...
get you. They're real people.
Yeah.
Salt of the earth sort of people. Ed Harris is fantastic.
I mean, he is great in everything,
Yeah.
but especially in this, he was really good.
He's so scary, so manipulative.
I thought Dave Franco was good as well.
Yeah, he was.
He usually tends to go from... I love Dave Franco. I always have a... I mean, I fucking hate James Franco, but
Yeah.
Dave Franco is... I'm a big fan of him.
Here's Jackie.
Hi.
She needs a job. Says she'll do anything.
Yeah, you like guns?
Not really.
What the fuck you doing here then?
Well, it is Pride Month as well, and this is a very lesbian movie.
Oh, the sex in this movie is... like, yeah, good. Glad these movies are getting made.
It's nice representation.
It is.
Apparently there were butch-only screenings.
Yeah, which is so funny.
Which is funny. But it's also it's sexy and it is gory. There's a lot of gross
Very.
out.
The fact
gore.
the fact that this is a 15
I
is
don't know
mental.
how they landed that this is a 15.
But like the one scene, again, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's horrifyingly violent.
Yeah.
I was shocked
Yeah.
when watching it.
I would love to rewatch this. I've only seen it once in the cinema. Had a great time in the cinema.
Yeah, I think it does venture sometimes into being a little bit art housey with some of the
artistic choices,
visuals,
Yeah.
and I don't think everyone will like this.
Oh no, especially the ending. We're not going to spoil it, but the ending I know is controversial. People think it's stupid.
Right.
I
mean, I don't agree,
thematically it
but
works.
I would like to just quickly sort of touch on spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen Love Lies Bleeding and are interested, go and watch it.
I'll cut in here when the time code is.
Skip to 1825 to avoid spoilers.
So Lou basically introduces Jackie to steroids.
Yeah.
And basically the downfall of everything is that Jackie basically goes into steroid-induced psychosis and ends up killing the brother-in-law.
How's it feel? You feel it already? You're like, boom, boom, it's all over. Immediately, like Popeye eating spinach. Stupid.
And then the whole movie sort of goes from there. But the physical alterations that come with the steroids are incredible. Like we said when we were watching it, we were like, oh, is that CG? Is that real? Like, she looks so incredibly... I don't even know what the word is, but I don't want to say monstrous because that sounds...
No, but she looks meaty.
Yeah, and it is like... Obviously, a lot of the bulking up was real.
Yeah.
And it really is so visceral.
Yeah.
And I think it's... Yeah, I absolutely loved this. One thing that I really, really liked... Spoilers over now. The character of Daisy.
God, I'm fucking starving now.
All right. Oh, let's order margaritas.
All right.
Excuse me. 2 margaritas, please.
Yes,
She
yes,
is
she's great.
fantastic.
Anna Baryshnikov.
She is so funny in this. She's a loser lesbian.
Yes.
In the 80s, and her like teeth are like disgustingly dirty, and
She
she's
looks
just like
she's very methy.
yeah, she's just like obsessed with Lou, and it's so funny. I'm glad Kristen Stewart has finally found her form in a miserable lesbian.
Good for Kristen Stewart. She takes these roles that are
challenging
and
interesting.
Yes, and I'm glad they've stopped trying to market her as
anything other than what she is.
I mean, going back to like in the last movie we covered, Beekeeper, we mentioned Bright, and then Max Landis also wrote a movie called American Ultra, which has Kristen Stewart in it, where they tried to market her as like the quirky sort of Elliot Page style.
Yeah, that ain't
quirky, down to earth girl who
this
shops
feels
at
a lot.
record shops.
This is a lot more authentic to who
she's
Kristen
a moody
Stewart is.
lesbian.
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
Yeah,
and she does it well.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, go check out Love Lies Bleeding. We
Really,
definitely
really
recommend
good.
it. It's great. It might not be for everyone's taste. I mean, this is not one to watch with your parents.
No, absolutely not.
Chris, I am really trying to. I never met you.
Quick fire, loving this.
What's next?
Ugh.
Ugh. Well, yeah. This feels like punching down.
It does. So we watched Lisa Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Lisa looks good.
She could probably even do pageants if she had congeniality.
Directed by Zelda Williams, who is the daughter of Robin
the late great
Williams.
Robin Williams.
Written by
Diablo Cody,
who wrote
Jennifer's Body, and Juno.
Jennifer's Body is probably up there with my favourite films of all time.
It's so subversive. This ain't subversive.
So what I will say is I've seen a lot of young women vocally feel represented by this movie, and I'm not here to shit on that or take it away from that. I think unfortunately I'm just too old.
Yeah, I wrote down it's made for other people, younger people. It's not for me.
I could get the clink for life or the electric chair, but I don't want to die a virgin.
I will say there are some laughs along the way.
Yeah.
I think the script isn't great, but there are some Diablo Cody style ironic self-aware jokes which for me work. Like, I was reading through the quotes on IMDb and I was like, oh, that's pretty funny, I can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, the premise of the movie is another loser, teenage girl in the 80s, falls in love with a corpse. That's basically the plot of the movie. The corpse, I'm not spoiling anything because
it's in the marketing.
It's the premise. And the person who she falls in love with is Cole Sprouse.
Cole Sprouse.
And
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
We were watching this, and at numerous points, I sort of leaned over to you and went, "This is very embarrassing."
Yeah, his performance is. I read that he's like, oh, he got trained by mime artists to do a physical performance. He doesn't really speak. He doesn't sell it. I'm sorry. He's not good enough.
But the thing is, you've never seen Warm Bodies, have you? The Nicholas Hoult movie.
I thought we watched Warm Bodies together.
No.
No, I'm thinking of Life After Beth.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Life After Beth, if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's an A24 movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's so
Yeah, I
fucking
didn't mind that
good.
movie.
It's got Dane DeHaan in it, who I'm a massive fan of,
Yeah,
and
it's
Aubrey
great.
Plaza. It's so funny.
It's probably
so
is
witty.
this done better. Like,
Yeah. But Warm Bodies is this movie done better.
oh, okay. I don't like the gimmick.
No, I don't. And
It's not a bit of
the
me.
80s thing is, to
Oh,
me, just
yeah. This is set in the
incredibly
late 80s,
annoying.
and it's just harping off Stranger Things and early Tim Burton, and it one's either preppy or emo.
I will
and
say I
it-
really like the sister. I think she's called Taffy.
Yeah, she's really good.
She's
and
great.
played by a Filipino actress who's like massive in the Philippines.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's like one of the highest paid Filipino actors.
Oh, she's fantastic. I mean, Catherine Newton.
Oh yeah, she the sister auditioned for the role. 5 days later, they flew her out after receiving her tape. She's great.
Yeah.
Because she plays that sort of. She's like head of the cheer team.
I will say I liked that. It's done in a way. I guess it is sort of similar to Jennifer's Body, where it's like she's a popular girl, but
Down to earth.
she's down to earth and she's very nice, and she always treats her stepsister well. It's not like a Cinderella type
Yeah.
thing. Like, she looks out for her and tries to get
She's
her
just
to.
but they're just so different.
Besides, Taffy says it's a waste of time to try and fix up ways. Better just accept a guy's flaws.
Catherine Newton, bless her.
Supernatural alum.
Yeah,
We-
she's good, but she just picks some terrible shit. to be
Every
in.
single, again, we'll cover it in a bit because we've got another Catherine
Yeah.
Newton project. But oh, girl, please just let me be your fucking casting. What do they call them?
Casting agent.
She clearly loves horror, and I like
Yeah.
that for her.
Yeah,
I just wish that she'd get some more interesting and.
She's just been playing Castiel's bastard daughter in every film where it's like, I'm a smart, hard-ass, smart Alex.
Yeah.
badass. Okay, this, again, there are some fucking groaners in this, I think.
Yeah.
Where there's one line where her stepmom's called Janet, and she goes like, damn it, Janet. And it's like, yeah, we've all seen the Rocky Horror Show, like, we get it, it's not a deep cut. And
Yeah.
then she's like, oh, listen, she shows Cole Sprouse, oh, here's the cure, and he's like, "Bull," and then they're like, "Not the cure for your illness, the band, the cure," and it's like, okay, we get it.
I have the cure.
Ooh.
Oh. No. It's not that kind of cure. It's like it's a band. They can't make you better. I mean, they can, but emotional.
Yeah, I mean, there are some laughs in it, and there are some good moments.
There's one line that stuck with me, which I found very funny, which was the stepsister. She's trying to explain Cole Sprouse, his character, to her stepsister. She goes, "Oh, does he have more of a basketball player's body or a football player's body?" And she's like, "Oh, he's more cerebral." And she goes, "Oh my God, is he in a wheelchair?" Which is very funny.
I don't remember that at all. The one bit that sticks out to me that I did really like is it a spoiler? I don't know. It may be a spoiler.
Don't spoil the fuck out of
Yeah,
it.
I don't really care.
No one's watching this.
Where they like transplant the dick so that she can like have sex with him. Like that's pretty funny.
That was pretty good, yeah.
Well, I can't just get you new parts. I mean, you're a dead man, not a Chrysler LeBaron.
And I mean, if you like this movie, I'm so happy for you. I just think we're too old, and the annoying 80s shtick, I'm over it. I hate
so
it.
over it.
I've never watched Stranger Things. I don't like it. But
see, people compare this to like Edward Scissorhands and Heathers and things like that. But
it feels like it's trying so hard to be
feels
that.
gimmicky, and the Madonna styling. And
and like the
fact
fact that it's like, oh, this is set in the same universe as Jennifer's body. It's like, don't you fucking dare! Please don't cut. So annoying.
Anyway, if you like how it sounds, it was a complete flop. 13 million budget, 9 million at the box office. It didn't do well, which is sad because horror movies usually do well. And this is female led, so I would have liked it to do well.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't very good.
Catherine Newton, keep
slugging away. You'll find a hit someday.
You'll get it. I think she's a talented actress.
I think she is. She's funny.
She's very endearing, and like all the stuff that I've seen, like press for Abigail and things like that.
Her method dressing's good as well.
Yeah,
isn't it? She loves her method dress.
She clearly loves horror, and like talking about like True Blood as a reference. Like to me, that's just winning prizes. Like she was in Supernatural. We love you, Catherine Newton.
Friend of the podcast. If you ever come on and discuss your terrible storyline in Supernatural,
we would love that. Please, Catherine, we love you.
I tend his grave.
I talked to him.
I wish I was with you.
Ooh. Monkey Man.
Monkey Man.
There you are. You are a beast.
Monkey Man was great.
We saw this at the cinema. It was one of those ones where we were like, there's a lot of stuff to talk about with this, but we didn't really feel strongly enough to sort of cover it in its own episode. And also it's not, I don't know, it feels very much like not.
Yeah, I'll leave it to,
this isn't my story to...
People who know more about.
Yeah, exactly.
Dev Patel plays a young man growing up on the streets of a fictional city in India. And
takes vengeance.
He takes vengeance on the mob that killed his mother. Very simple, very John Wick, very Only God Forgives. If you like a revenge action thriller, please do watch this, because it is really good.
Just one small ember can burn down everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those films, it's very, very good. It's not, I don't want to say derivative, but it's a revenge story. There's only so many ways. However, I do think there are a lot of really interesting things in it, and I think it is clearly something that Dev Patel feels very passionate about, and the world building and the history that goes behind it is really fucking great.
I felt a huge responsibility to the mythology that this story is based on.
My mother used to tell me a story of the protector of the people.
It's his directorial debut, which is very impressive, to star, write and direct.
It's so competent.
Yes, I'd go and say more than competent. I think it's great.
I don't mean competent in a disparaging way. I mean, like, in every aspect, it's so well done. I mean, I've been a Dev Patel fan since Skins, so it's absolutely wonderful to see this.
Because, just a bit of context, this was meant to be a Netflix film, and then Jordan Peele of Get Out, Us, and Nope picked it up and released it under his production company, Monkey Paw. So that's how it got a theatrical release, thank God, because it was fun to see this in a cinema.
Dev created a world that's gritty
and tragic, but cinematically beautiful.
Because obviously Jordan Peele has worked with Daniel Kaluuya
Mm.
and now Dev Patel, and I saw someone ask him, like, are you just, like, a fan of Skins? And he was like, oh, no, funny enough, I'd never seen Skins. I've never heard of it. But
Yeah.
they clearly know how to pick talent on that show. Cause...
I mean, Kaya Scodelario is big at the moment.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
been doing... What was that movie she was in? Oh, no, she was in The Gentleman.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
TV show. So yeah, it's nice to see those sort of up and coming British actors getting their flowers. And I mean, Dev Patel, his acting is great. The script is very well written. There's a lot of thoughtful and, you know.
Yeah, I think what sets this apart from... I'm just trying to think of... There's been such a slew of John Wick knockoffs, right? I'm thinking of that one which had Bob Odenkirk in it, called Nobody.
Not heard
And
of
I saw
that.
that at the cinema. That came out a few years ago. It was very ultra-violent. It was basically John Wick, but with a bit more comedy.
The John Wick movies, are they 15s or 18s?
15s.
They are 15s. Because this movie is an 18 and it's a
Well, that's what I mean.
hard 18.
And it takes... I think Nobody was an 18.
That sounds interesting. Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, it was good. But what sets this apart from things like that, I guess, is its East Asian influence. I know Dev Patel, obviously, it's inspired by the Bollywood films he grew up with and Korean revenge films.
Yes, it feels very like those ultra-violent
Yeah,
Korean, and I love those
Yeah,
movies.
those are great. So I think it harks on that, as well as taking in the Western influence of, like, John Wick.
Mm.
And the
They even make
mysticism-
sorry to interrupt, they even make a reference to John Wick,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
they, in the movie. He says
okay.
something like, oh, this is the gun that John Wick
Oh,
uses
yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, okay, like, yeah.
I think it's intentionally funny.
Yeah.
And but bringing in, like, the legend of Hanuman, which is not a secret, it's referenced in the movie. That Eastern mysticism, for want of a better term.
Yeah.
I think elevates this as a great revenge movie.
It's an under-monkey story, if you will.
Yes, it is.
Hanuman is a god in the Hindu mythology that is half monkey, half human. He symbolizes strength, courage, kindness.
And again, Dev Patel is so physical, so wiry, but he's so lean in this movie.
So fine.
He's a handsome ass man.
So fucking fine.
And I mean, it was only cost $10 million to make. They had budget restrictions. I mean, for a $10 million movie, this looks amazing.
It looks fantastic.
But they filmed some action scenes with GoPros and iPhones.
Really?
So it does have that, no pun intended, guerrilla style and sort of anarchic sensibility about it.
It's very frenetic. It's very... There's an energy behind it.
Oh, there is. There's non-stop energy.
In a
this
way
movie.
that is authentic, and the sort of intensity of even his environment and like the surroundings. Like, he's obviously, you know, he lives in a slum.
Yeah, yeah.
In this city, the rich don't see us as people.
He sleeps in a room with like 20 other people and like...
Makes his money underground fight clubs.
Yeah, and the payoff for that is great. I did want to just touch a little bit on, because I've seen a lot of people sort of praising this side of it, that basically this sort of goes into spoilers, but I don't think it necessarily ruins the movie. So skip to this time code.
Hey guys, editing Callum here. Skip to the time code 3445 to avoid spoilers. Thanks.
The arc of the movie happens and he gets rescued by the keeper of a local temple.
Yeah.
Now, this sort of group of people, they worship, I think the way you pronounce it is Ardhanarishvara. I hope I'm not butchering that, but basically...
Cancel.
Cancel. So this is a form of the Indian deity Shiva, who is basically depicted as being half male and half female. And the temple sort of houses this community of people who are known as Hijara, I think is how you say it. And these are basically transgender, intersex, and eunuchs. So these people all sort of live in this little community. And sort of as the film develops, we see that these people are being hunted, for want of a better word, by the like ultra-conservative Indian, because this is all set to the background of like a political campaign.
Yeah, lots of corruption. And...
Yeah, and a lot of people have had a lot of positive things to say on the trans representation, and it's done in a way that is really, really beautiful.
And it plays into the themes and plot of being an outcast so well, and also linking like class consciousness with, identity trans politics and things like that.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it's a wonderful film. It made money at the box office, so good for them.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I liked it a lot. I wouldn't. I admire it more than I think.
Yes, I would say that. Again, action's not our genre.
No, it isn't. And also, I specifically don't have a connection to that historical
Neither do
background. And so I think for people like, Dev Patel, I can imagine that this is such an important part of their cultural identity.
Yeah, and for
But I learned a lot watching it, yeah.
Southeast Asian kids.
I had
growing
no
up.
idea that there was this whole community of like transgender, it's fascinating and it's so well done and it's handled with grace and poise and compassion,
Yeah.
and these people are well-rounded, fleshed out characters. Everyone is. The love interest, I guess you could call her.
Oh man, there are some fine Desi women in
Oh
this
my god,
movie.
everyone in this movie, and like, is it his boss, the guy who employs him, and he's got that like
car.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun. Again, the characters in this, and I do like that side of. I mean, Indian actors are funny.
Yeah.
And they're witty.
There's a
and-
cute dog. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there's lots of stuff to like in this movie.
Yeah, go check out Monkey Man. If this sounds interesting to you, go check it out.
The monkey will win the first 2 rounds and go down in the third.
What's in it for you?
I want a promotion.
Honk shoe. Honk shoe.
So I think we were going to cover this on the podcast.
Immaculate.
God saved me for a reason, but I'm still searching for what that reason is.
Blah. No.
It's not
Sydney
boo-worthy.
Sweeney. You're a dime. I love you, Sydney.
Yeah, same.
Friend of the podcast. She loves it. She listens to it every week. Immaculate. Michael Mohan. Released by Neon. Hard 18.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's fine. It's an hour and 29 minutes. It doesn't need to be any longer than that.
It feels about
It-
3.5 hours long.
So yeah, this has...
Can we have a quick plot summary
Yeah.
of Immaculate? Because I read the plot summary today because I was like, I don't remember what the fuck happens in Immaculate, and I got pretty bored reading the plot summary, so I sort of gave up.
A nun named Cecilia, played by Sydney Sweeney,
Cecilia.
moves into an idyllic convent in the Italian countryside. Drama ensues, to put
yes,
it
and
lightly.
you can probably guess what happens just based on the title. Sydney Sweeney's not very good in this, I don't think.
She really wanted that.
I know, and I respect it
Yeah.
so bad because I don't want her to just be. She doesn't deserve
No.
to be typecast as the big titty bimbo.
No,
or-
and I don't. Sydney Sweeney for me is, I feel very almost protective
Yeah,
over
yeah.
her in the sense that the way Sydney Sweeney is treated is absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
And people forget that, like, people sort of call out the way Megan Fox was treated, and it's like, look how people
Yeah.
still continue to treat Sydney Sweeney. Like, it's
Yeah.
disgusting. However, she's trying very hard to be a horror girly, and unfortunately, she just isn't.
Yeah, it feels like when a celebrity dresses up as like Freddy Krueger for Halloween. And it's like, I know damn well you haven't watched The Dream Child. I know damn well you haven't watched
Just
it.
in like the interviews and stuff, some of the things she was saying, I was like, girl, if this isn't your, I'm not gatekeeping horror.
I am, but yeah, go on.
But we talked about Catherine Newton, and I'm like, you know what?
Catherine Newton knows it.
You have a real reverence and respect for the genre, and I just don't feel like that's authentic to Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
However,
We don't want to be like name 3 Nirvana songs sort of
No.
people, because that is scummy. But again, it feels phony.
it does.
And it reeks. of
However, I love the fact that she's in her, like, I'm just trying a bit of everything era, and I respect that. A bad horror movie, a fucking sleazy Italian horror movie is a rite of passage for
Yeah.
actors. And, like, you know how all the, like, 2000s Platinum Dunes movies,
Yeah.
like Jessica Biel and, like, people like that, like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that for you. Go
Yeah,
and
go-
go and do a little horror movie. Like, I respect it.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, please don't try and convince me that you're like obsessed with horror. That's my only gripe.
Yeah.
But like,
She also didn't she say she wouldn't? She did like a fuck, marry, kill.
Mm.
She said she wouldn't fuck
Ghostface.
Ghostface.
And it's like,
She's like, that's a red flag.
no, everyone would fuck Ghostface. Like everyone.
Yeah, it's basically Rosemary's Baby, but not good.
It's a miracle. You are with child.
I mean, it's
Although shout out Simona Tabasco.
yeah,
That woman
White
is
Lotus.
fine, and not to objectify.
Oh my god, that the fucking scene. I mean, we talked about it in the.
Oh yeah. She gets buried underground.
It is genuinely so horrifying.
It's very visceral.
Visceral.
Visceral. It's an ambitious project. I don't necessarily think it paid off. There's some gory bits in this. Like
It's just so forgettable. Like I
is
read the plot
forgettable.
summary and I was like, I don't remember any of this.
I just remember her acting not being great and her having Instagram face in every shot.
Out of all the women in the world, why did he choose me?
Yeah, I mean the last scene.
Oh yeah, it's gnarly.
It's gnarly, but it's also a bit like it tries very hard to be just like visceral. And I think the best
Yeah.
movies, it's trying so hard to be like.
Is this the movie we watched where it was trying really hard to be giallo? This was, right?
I think
Wasn't
so.
there like black gloves?
Yeah.
And it was shot like a Suspiria or Cat o' Nine Tails or something.
And there's
Yeah.
just so much. I mean, it is an Italian movie, so it goes without saying, but there's so much exposition. Like all of the dialogue is expository, and it's so boring. Where it's like,
Goddamn Italian movies.
where it's just like every single line was like information about a character, and it's just like,
Mm.
oh, I don't really care. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Well,
wanted
she-
to
it
like
wasn't-
this.
It was in production for she auditioned for this when she was 17. The project got cancelled, and then she basically produced it.
I forgot about that angle, and good for her.
Yeah,
I
she
like
produced
that.
it, so yeah, good for her.
She basically got this movie made, which I'm very glad about. And I like Sydney Sweeney a lot. I have a lot of respect for her, and I'm glad that she's trying things. It doesn't all necessarily
No.
pay off, and I don't necessarily think it's her fault. I just think it's a bit of a shit movie.
I mean, it made 26 million at the box office, off
Yeah.
a $9 million budget. But however, this movie got marketed the shit out of.
Yeah, and I also think that like people were coming out and being like, "Ah, this is crazy," and it's like,
Oh yeah, they paid people. No, they didn't.
But to
in no
normies-
way. I don't even think that. I just think it was a marketing scam, as they do with horror movies.
I don't know. The end scene is pretty.
Oh yeah, because I follow her on Instagram, not for no reason, but I saw her sharing people being like, "Freaking
Coming out of
hell."
immaculate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry,
I mean, it has a nice pro-choice message, and
yeah, forgettable though. I'll never think about it again after today.
no,
Immaculate, everyone. Go watch it if you can't be bothered. It's an hour and a
it'll kill an hour and 29 minutes of your day if you have nothing better to do, I guess.
I promise to carry myself with grace because I want nothing more than to belong here. I'm afraid I've already messed things up.
Right, what's next? Oh, fucking hell. There's a reason why we didn't cover any of these movies. It's because I don't care.
Abigail.
Who's the girl?
You don't need to know her name.
I don't care about her name. Whose kid is she?
A very wealthy man who's about to be $50 million poorer.
I hated this movie.
You're in the minority, but luckily I hated this movie too. I fucking hate
This
Radio
movie
Silence.
fucking
dude.
stinks.
Radio Silence. I'm sorry. I know people like you. What's his name? Matt Bettinelli Alpin, and Tyler Gillette.
Gillett, I think it is.
Oh, I'm gonna call you
Gillette.
The best a man can get. More like the worst a movie can get.
This movie sucks.
These guys got big off VHS, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They did a VHS segment. They did Ready or Not, and they've been doing these Scream shit.
Fucking hell,
movies.
I forgot about that. Anyway, Angus Cloud.
Angus Cloud.
It's
Oh, rest in peace.
bittersweet.
It is. He's really good in this, but he doesn't get enough screen time.
No, and it's just sad that
Yeah. But Catherine Newton's in this, playing... You'll never guess. She's a wisecracking, smart Alec, badass, take no shit sort of gal.
just every character is just like a
Oh.
stereotype. Like Melissa Barbera plays a like ex-army medic, and she's like an ex junkie.
And she knows everyone.
And she's like,
I can read people.
she's always got like sweets, and it's just like,
She's got candy because she's an ex-skaghead.
but it's just like, I don't care. So the premise of this movie: a group of quipping criminals kidnap the daughter of a powerful figure in the underworld and get more than they bargained for.
And guess what?
I fucking hated this movie. This movie sucks.
You get more than you bargained for, right? We're just gonna say it because every single trailer ruins the first 45 minutes of this movie.
This movie is ruined by the marketing.
Yeah, because they marketed it as a vampire movie.
Shock, she's a vampire.
Yeah, we know because we saw the trailer.
What do we know about vampires?
That they're not real.
What are we talking about? Like an Anne Rice or True Blood? You know, Twilight? Very different kind of vampires.
Which you spoiled the entire
it would have been
crux
cool
of the movie.
if it had been a
a reveal.
from dusk till dawn sort of twist. But this was just like 45 minutes. They went around going, "Who is this girl? Why? Yeah, she's a vampire. We know. Yeah. Come on, catch up, everyone." Which is probably not a fault of the film, but the marketing.
I guess, but like, I don't know, every fucking radio silence movie ends with people blowing up and their heads exploding and blood goes everywhere. It's like, we've fucking seen this.
Yeah.
Like, I saw Ready or Not, it was fine. I'm sorry, I can't even pretend to like this movie. I fucking hated every second of it.
Everyone is so funny.
It's so millennial horror and I can't fucking stand it.
Sammy, those are fucking onions.
Well, I don't cook, I don't know.
Oh yeah, everyone speak. It's like that. It's got the Tarantino thing where everyone is wisecracking badass, but there's no sense of meta irony to it. So are we supposed to think these people are cool? It's like horrible James Gunn, Joss Whedon style of dialogue.
I'd say Joss Whedon. I
characterisation.
wouldn't say James Gunn. I think James Gunn's a bit harsh.
Oh no, James Gunn is much worse. Not worse.
Worse than Joss Whedon. Have a day off.
No, but you know, like everyone in fucking.
Yeah, but at least
James
that's actually
Gunn movies
funny.
Yeah, I guess so.
This movie is not funny.
Not funny.
Like, it's just embarrassing. And it's got fucking, what's his name? Giancarlo.
Oh, Giancarlo Esposito.
Who I'm just like,
Guess what kind of character he's playing, everyone?
strong silent time. I literally said to you, probably about, I don't know, 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm not a you love Breaking Bad. I'm not a
Yeah.
Breaking Bad fan. I've never really watched it. I just know it from pop culture. And I just said to you, I was like, does he play the same role in every single movie? Every time I've seen him in something, he just plays that character.
But to shakes, he's great, and he was in.
I like him a lot, but it's just like,
She's Got to Have It. Do the Right Thing. He was in.
Was he?
Yeah, he's got a really funny cameo in that. The whole. It's one of them. I think it's the most infamous scene in that movie where did you tread on my Jordans or whatever.
Yeah.
Not only did you knock me down, you stepped on my brand new white Air Jordans that I just bought. And that's all you can say is, excuse me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I'll fuck you up quick 2 times.
But
I mean, he's barely in it.
he's barely in it. Oh, it's just a shame. It's not a shame.
I didn't.
But,
I didn't go
people
into
love
this.
this movie.
Yeah.
Is this just again? It's not.
This is just an us problem.
I don't get the sense of humor. I don't like the smug.
No,
smarmy-
and like the dancing, I just find annoying. I
The
don't
little girl
get
was
it.
really good.
She's fantastic.
What's your name? Mine's Abigail.
You can call me Joey.
Yeah,
Don't
little
care.
baby vampire. Pretty
Again,
good.
Catherine Newton. I'm glad she's getting work, but I fucking hated this. I hated every character. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm not
I'm
seeing
very
another
over
Radio
it.
Silence movie. If you're gonna keep doing the same thing, innovate or get off the pot.
Made 42 million off its 28 budget.
Didn't do that well then.
Didn't do that well.
Oh, the $20 million of the budget went to blood.
Oh, guys. Oh, fuck. I was looking through the trivia this morning, and
It's just
it
stupid.
was like we had to warn everyone on set that there's going to be a lot of blood in this movie. Lots of fake blood. Sick.
I was not prepared for the amount of blood.
Blood cannons and there's blood dripping everywhere.
It makes me sad though, because like Ready or Not, and like I don't hate Radio Silence, but after watching this, I'm like, no, yeah, I'm done. I'm over
I think
it.
they're industry shills as well.
Yeah.
Not enemies of the pod. Just I don't like you.
If you make a good movie,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
you know.
You're more than welcome to be back in the club.
Fuck, I've had enough talking about this movie. It's actually
Abigail,
making me irate.
Don't go see it.
Rubbish.
I'm doing my best here, Abigail.
Final film.
The most recent of them all.
The big boy. The white whale of the summer.
Yeah.
that's already been pulled out of theaters because no one went to see it.
Furiosa.
Which is a fucking shame. Furiosa.
I'm Furiosa!
The darkest of angels.
I would say I loved Furiosa.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Fair.
I didn't, coming out of the cinema, I was like, yeah, it's decent. But as I've sort of come away and I rewatched Fury Road, I do think this is a very good movie.
That's fair.
And I want to rewatch it already. I take it you weren't that sold on it?
I think it's a very well made movie. I think the acting's good, but I just feel nothing but ambivalence.
Oh, really?
No. I was like, yeah, it was well done. Just underwhelming. I mean, I wasn't clamoring for a Furiosa origin story anyway. I'm kind of cynical when it comes to things like that. I don't care.
See, I think this is different, and I understand where you're coming from, but I think this is not cynical at all.
No, I don't think it is cynical. But I just mean that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, this was written. George Miller directed all the Mad Max movies. He wrote this before writing Fury Road. All the main character actors on Fury Road got a copy of this script to read before, so they knew. Basically, they were acting in Fury Road with this backstory in mind,
That's
this whole
fair.
movie in mind, and even because at the end of this movie, obviously, spoilers maybe.
No, it's not spoilers.
But at the end of this movie, you obviously see
the wives
get smuggled, and I just think it's neat.
I just think they're neat.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
it reminds me of it's how people felt about Rogue One, I guess, but I'm less cynical, where it's just like hope on we're setting everything up. I like that as a prequel to Fury Road. We're setting up the events of Fury, and it is nowhere near as good as Fury Road.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I found disappointing with this movie is just the CGI, and I just thought it was a bit boring.
Yeah, it is.
But again, I'm not an action movie fan, and I think Fury Road is one of those weird, how people talk about lightning in the bottle movies. I think Fury Road was just against all odds. I really enjoyed that movie. I find it a very authentically empowering movie. Whereas with this, I was just a bit like.
I don't think there are any moments as good as 10 moments in Fury Road.
Where did you think you were going? If you survive everything we take on together, you'll have all the skills you need to get wherever you want to go.
So we watched this in Amsterdam. We went to the IMAX, which was a great experience. Thoroughly enjoyed that. In the middle of the day, in the massive IMAX, there's 3 elderly people in front of us who I think they could just go to every screening. I was like, yeah, fair.
I would do the same.
Yeah. When we're old and grey, we're just going to spend all day watching movies.
In Amsterdam. For no particular reason.
But, yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate because I just feel very ambivalent.
Yeah, it's a shame. Maybe a rewatch would do you good.
Yeah, I mean, so going back to my point, we watched this and then we went back and watched Fury Road. Now, I absolutely loved Fury Road. I watched it twice in the cinema, which I think the only movie I've seen that with was The Force Awakens. I've never done that.
I saw Force Awakens 7 times.
Yeah, I know, because you're a loser. But you didn't like Fury Road the first time you watched it.
Although, I think I felt ambivalent towards it, like you said. Because I watched it with my parents when it first came out. And I went to go see my parents, and they were like, oh, have you watched any movies lately? Because me and my parents just make small talk. And I was like, oh, I saw the new Mad Max. But my mum was like, oh, yeah, me and your dad didn't like that. But I remember you saying you quite liked it when we watched it.
Oh.
So I think I was ambivalent towards it more than disliked it.
But even then, when I rewatched Mad Max, I didn't like it as I still think it's an excellent movie.
Oh, Fury Road?
Yeah, Fury Road. I mean, I liked it, but
oh my God. Fury Road, I think, is mind-blowingly good.
Yeah. I think maybe
Nicholas Hoult in that movie is so good.
Yeah, again.
His art.
His little skin, he's a skins boy.
Yeah.
I love it. But no, I mean, I just didn't think that Anya Taylor-Joy was very good.
I thought she was very good.
It's always frowning.
Yes, Furiosa.
My mother. My childhood. I want them back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The practical effects go so far into making Fury Road enjoyable for me that I think this movie was just a bit I mean, anyone can do CGI. You know what I mean? where I think the practical effects in the first movie were basically the crux. And this is a different movie, and that's
But
fine.
there were quite a lot of digital effects in Fury Road.
Yeah, I know. But that movie was helmed as like a practical effects thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I just didn't feel anywhere near the excitement or the... It does have Tom Burke, I learnt his name is. The guy from Donkey Punch, who we now see everywhere.
Yeah.
Who was
Donkey
in
Punch.
Only God Forgives.
Was he in a Tarantino movie?
I don't know. He's in Only God Forgives, so that might be where
that's what I'm
you're...
thinking of, yeah, Only
He's
God
Billy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean...
Did you like Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah.
I thought he was funny as fuck.
I like Chris Hemsworth anyway.
There's a flamboyant sort of nature to this guy, certainly, which was fun.
Who's got the goods, the bollocks, the testes to ride with Dementus?
But again, it was fine. I just didn't really connect with it very
Fair
much.
enough. I mean, I think it's a shame that movies... I mean, this had a $168 million budget, and as of recording, it made $146 million. So this has been a big old flop, and they're already pulling out of theatres because it's just no one's going to see it. You can't blame general audiences, and then people were like, "Oh, it's because no one goes to see movies anymore." And then Bad Boys 4 came out, and everyone went to go see it, and it made a load of money. And then,
I mean, it has a 7.8 on IMDb and a 79 Metascore with a 90% Rotten Tomatoes. So I think the people that like it really like it, but I think most people just feel a bit ambivalent.
and I don't think it had the virality, I guess, of Fury Road, where that movie was so against the grain,
Well,
against the norm.
And also, it's just memorable. Like, when we watched Fury Road, you were like, oh my god, every line is
Yeah.
iconic.
Yeah.
Whereas in that, it was just a bit like... I saw people compare it to Kill Bill 2.
Yes,
which I
yeah,
think...
Red Letter Media compared it to
Yeah,
Kill
which I
Bill
think
2.
is an apt comparison, because it's not for everyone, but if it works for you, I think it will really work for you. I don't know, I didn't really care.
I was just happy to have the lore of Fury Road expanded a bit and to find that out. I genuinely was like, I don't think it detracted from
No.
the lore. I just think it added to it.
Yeah.
In a sort of, I guess, unnecessary way, because you can sort of, through Charlize Theron's performance and exposition, you do sort of know Furiosa.
Yeah, and I was surprised when rewatching, because when that movie came out, I loved it. And I mean, like, it was probably one of my favourite movies. And I kind of forgot how great the representation of women is in Fury Road. It's crazy. I think I was just a little bit disappointed. I just felt like in this movie it didn't, like, it sets up the green place and stuff like that, but
We could all sort of assume what that was.
She's from a place of abundance. What's your name? Tomorrow, I'll follow the tracks that brought you here and I'll take you home.
I'm sad that no one's going to see it, and that's disappointing, but
I'm just glad we got another movie out of George Miller.
how old is he now?
What's the phrase? Coffin dodger.
Bless him. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that hearing you say they had this all planned out before the movie. This isn't like a soulless like prequel, requel
no.
shit, like anything like that. I think that movie works so well as its own thing. I just think it's a little encapsulated story set in the Mad Max universe, and I like that.
And I think the normies that went to go see Fury Road, it's been like 9 years.
I think it
probably just
suffers
like,
from that.
Oh yeah, I think I watched that and then enjoyed it, but you're not clamoring for it.
No, but even like, I don't think my dad's seen it, and he loves Mad Max and loves Fury Road. I just don't think anyone gives a fuck.
Yeah, probably is that.
And I think that's what I mean. Where I was like,
Everyone's
I don't
very
think
ambivalent.
I don't think anyone gives a fuck, and also, the movie's a bit boring. And I think those two things compounded together, where it's like, again, that movie, people like that movie, and it's so well respected because it is very, very good. But like, I just don't. It's too late. It's what I think about Avatar 2.
I still haven't seen Avatar 2.
You were like, you're wrong. Avatar 2
I mean,
is
it
going to
made
be
a build.
amazing. Yeah, fair.
People loved it.
But it's like, oh, you're wrong. I'm going to see Avatar. You never fucking went to see it, because who gives a fuck about Avatar anymore? Everyone except me.
When they re-release it before Avatar 3, I'll go see it. I promise, James. James, I promise. I just didn't find time because it's like 3 hours long.
Who's James?
Jim Cameron.
Oh.
My best friend Jim. Jimmy boy.
Oh, he needs your money, babe.
He does. He's got more sea exploration to do.
No shame in hate. It's one of the great forces of nature.
That wasn't hope, that was instinct.
So, we hope you enjoyed this little Crash episode.
Yeah, I can't say that I've been too thrilled about anything that's come out this year. Love Lies Bleeding is excellent.
Love
Monkey
Lies
Man's
Bleeding,
great. Go
Monkey
check him
Man.
out.
The Beekeeper's fucking amazing.
We
probably should have ended on The Beekeeper, because our spirits are pretty low now.
Yeah, The Beekeeper, we really...
After this, on the bat of talking about
I
three
I
flops.
can't say how much I enjoyed The Beekeeper. It's absolute trash in the
Movie of the
best
year.
way. Movie of the year.
That and Challengers competing for the Oscar in my book.
Yeah.
Jason Statham, Best Leading Actor. Josh Hutcherson, Best Supporting Actor.
Jason Statham, Best American Accent.
Lady Who Shoots Herself, Best Lead
Grandpa.
Actress. Best Grandma Who Kills Herself after getting scammed in a major motion
Victim of a
picture.
phishing scam.
Aw. Yeah, stream The Beekeeper.
Oh, remember that line where she was like, "So you're gonna believe the white guy?"
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
shut up.
Oh, no.
Shut up.
Yeah.
David
So-
Ayer, you're white. Why?
So, what are we doing season 3? Oh no, we're gonna have some films coming up.
It's a movie summer. We've got lots and lots and lots of shit coming out. We've got The Bike Riders. We've got Maxine.
Yeah, we'll do a big bumper episode for
We've got
Maxine.
In a Violent Nature.
Yes.
We've got Long Legs. We've
Oh,
got
Long
Cuckoo.
Legs.
We've
We're gonna cover the shit out of Long Legs. 'Cause I'm gonna see that movie 100 times.
Yeah, so we're probably this season will end up doing quite a lot of new things.
Yes.
We are going to go back to our Versus episode for episode 15, so I think we know what we're doing.
Yeah,
but
I think we know. And everyone, even if we announce it now, everyone will be
no,
like,
no one's going to give a fuck anyway.
okay.
Oh
yeah, I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
We're doing Into the Void versus Climax, 2 Gaspar Noé movies.
Check out Climax.
Check out Climax, check out Into the Void.
I mean, check out Climax is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Excellent. Don't blame me if you have a panic attack, but it's very good. So yeah, we've got some exciting stuff coming up. Lots of new films coming out. So this season might be quite new media heavy, but
Cool,
we'll try
who
and
cares?
pepper in some old stuff in there.
So, stick around. Go watch the Tarantino rankings on YouTube and like them, please. Because episode 1 has about 3 views and episode 2 has like 150. I don't know what's gone on there.
Yeah, well, but no one gives a fuck about those movies.
So yeah, go like those, go watch them.
Thank you for listening as always and all of your continued support.
And have a great week.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the other side.
Goodbye.
Ta-ra.
I don't like these movies.
Get real.
Did I saw that movie 20 goddamn times?
Just consume product. I watch my movies. Yeah, my movies are the best.
It's so much fun and
Oh, this movie's too complicated.
So once again, no smoking, just theater.